In today's video, we look at the killing of PC Andrew Harper. A brave young police officer was killed in the line of duty in truly shocking circumstances as he attempted to stop three teenagers from stealing a quad bike. PC Harper was dragged for more than a mile of winding country road after his ankles got caught in a tow rope attached to the thief's car. We look into the case, the trial, and the aftermath. On August the 15th, 2019, at 4:50 p.m, Henry Long, Albert Bowers, Jesse Cole, and Thomas King arrive at the home of Peter Wallace in Bradfield, Southend, Berkshire, to steal his £10,000 quad bike. They are confronted by Mr. Wallace, and they leave empty-handed. At 11:10, Long, Bowers, and Cole return to Mr. Wallace's house without Thomas King. In just over 15 minutes, they steal his quad bike. The quad bike is wheeled onto the road and attached to the Seat Toledo by a strap to be ridden by Cole at the rear steering. Mr. Wallace makes a 999 call to report the theft in progress. He says, "I've got 4 masked men outside my house and they've got weapons. I'm going out there to stop them." The 999 operator told Mr. Wallace to stay indoors. PC Andrew Harper and fellow constable Andrew Shaw, who were finishing a surveillance shift in Reading, responded to the call in their unmarked BMW police car. PC Harper was the passenger. The officers first get a glimpse of the Seat headlights approaching their car in Admore Lane. The vehicles stop facing each other at around 5 metres apart. 8 seconds later, Long in the Seat vehicle mounts the verge as he drives around the police car. Cole is on foot behind the Seat, having just unhitched the quad bike. He tries to get back into the Seat. Cole runs past the police car, pursued by PC Harper, and dives through the Seat passenger window. PC Harper had almost reached the car and Cole, but runs into the loop of the strapping, trailing from the boot. He is pulled to the ground and dragged away, as Long, the driver of the Seat, accelerates off. The whole incident takes around 30 seconds. PC Shaw turns the BMW around in the country lane and begins pursuit with no sign of the Seat car or PC Harper. More than a minute after the pursuit and PC Harper's disappearance, PC Shaw stops to recover PC Harper's stab vest, which was in 2 parts on the road. PC Harper's body is found by another police unit, by PC Christopher Bushnell in Ufton Lane. PC Andrew Harper had been dragged for just over a mile for 91 seconds before he is dislodged on the other side of the A4. It means that Long in the Seat has driven an average of 42.5 miles per hour. PC Bushnell alerts his colleague, PC Andy Kemp, to the figure in the road, and he sets off in pursuit of the Seat. At 11:31, PC Shaw reaches the A4 and Ufton Lane, where he finds his colleague having followed a trail of road marks, blood and body matter. Meanwhile, Long in the Seat heads towards Ufton Close, but gets stuck behind a wedding coach and turns back, forcing PC Bushnell to take evasive action to avoid a head-on collision. The Seat is then driven at speeds towards the Four Houses corner, and PC Bushnell loses sight of it. The National Police Air Service helicopter takes off and is directed to the Four Houses corner traveller's site. Around 11:42 p.m, the police helicopter reports seeing, using thermal imaging, a very, very hot Seat on the site, with people standing around it and another car in an adjacent plot. Sadly, at 11:45 p.m, PC Andrew Harper is pronounced dead in the road where he was found. On August 16, 2019, in the early hours, police raid the traveller's site and arrest 10 males. They are detained and mobile phones are seized. Police are given extra time to interview the suspects. One of the men, suspect A, aged 20 years old, is charged with murder and theft of a quad bike. On the 17th of August, Thames Valley Police Major Crimes Unit stated that a post-mortem performed the previous day gave PC Andrew Harper's cause of death as multiple injuries, which aligned with their theory that PC Harper had been caught between a vehicle and the road, and then dragged for a distance. The post-mortem also showed that PC Andrew Harper had sustained a very severe brain injury. A pathologist stated it was likely Harper lost consciousness when he fell to the ground. On September the 12th, by now, police have analysed mobile phone data, placing Long, Cole and Bowers at the scene, and ruling out suspect A, despite initial evidence suggesting he might have been involved. All charges of suspect A is dropped. On September the 18th, 2019, suspects Henry Long, 18 years old, Jesse Cole, 17 years old, and Albert Bowers, 17 years old, are charged with murder and remanded into custody. On the 14th of October, PC Harper's wife Lizzie and his brother Sean were among 800 mourners who attended a private funeral at Christ Church Cathedral in Oxford. The service was preceded by a procession throughout the city, led by mounted police officers at Thames Valley and watched by members of the public gathered outside the church. As the service began, PC Harper's coffin was placed in the centre of the large cathedral, covered in a navy blue flag with the police crest on the sides. After the coffin was carried in by 6 uniformed officers, Mrs. Harper placed her late husband's ceremonial police hat on his coffin for the duration of the service. The Dean of Christ Church Cathedral, the Very Reverend Professor Martin Percy, commemorated a kind, brave, strong and loyal man. He said some might say he was an ordinary man with an ordinary job. I do not agree. He represented policing at its best. He was everything you wanted in a police officer. Authentic, brave, genuine and kind. Today we mourn an exceptional man who died in the line of duty, and even as we give thanks to each and every one here and watching, they selflessly serve our society, the thin blue line which runs through our community. They continue to inspire us, just as Andrew does. On 27th October 2019, 5,000 motorbikes took part in a ride of respect for fallen PC Andrew Harper. The murder trial was presided over by Mr. Justice Andrew Edis and began at the Old Bailey on the 10th of March 2020. The original trial was then abandoned the day the country went into lockdown in March, while extra security measures were ordered for the retrial, which started on June the 23rd, amid fears of potential jury intimidation by supporters of the defendants. A female juror was discharged just a day before the remaining 11 started deliberating on their verdicts, after she was seen by a prison officer to mouth, "Bye boys," to the teenagers in the dock. In court, the defendants gave their series of events. They are very much the same, so we'll look here at Jesse Cole. Jesse Cole, now 18, said he was only thinking of getting away after he was caught red-handed on a stolen quad bike on the evening of August the 15th, 2019. He unhooked the bike from the rope and made a run for the moving car, which had been towing it. He dived through the window, they say, at Toledo, and told the occupants Henry Long and Albert Bowers, "That's the police, let's go." PC Harper was seen on police car footage pursuing Cole on foot moments before he became caught in the tow rope, attached to the rear of the Seat. Landscape gardener Cole described how he stolen the quad bike with his old friends Long and Bowers. He had ridden the bike to steer it as it was towed behind the Seat, driven by Long, with Bowers in the passenger seat. When they came across PC Harper's BMW, Bowers shouted to Cole to unhook the bike and get in, as Long manoeuvred around it. Jurors heard Cole then ran towards the moving car and dived through the window. Defence Barrister Patrick Upwood QC asked if he ever turned round or saw PC Harper. The defendant denied it. Mr. Upwood said, "Did you hear PC Harper shout 'Stop police' or anything like that?" Cole replied, "No." He said, "I was holding my hand on the top of the car. The car was moving slowly, not fast. I grabbed on and jumped through. My head landed on Henry and my legs were over the top of Bowers." Mr. Upwood said, "Did you say anything as you came through the window?" Cole said, "No, all I saw was blue flashing lights." He said it meant we needed to get home, as it was obviously a police car. The defendant told the others, "That's a police car, let's go." Cole said he never thought that the Seat was dragging anything. "We were speeding, going over humps fast. The exhaust was scraping," he said. There was shouting from inside the car, and Long turned the radio up, he added. Asked what he was thinking at the time, Cole said, "We were caught red-handed stealing a quad bike. We just wanted to get back and not get caught." When he was arrested for murder, Cole said he was shocked and thought the police had got the wrong person. Cross-examining Jonathan Polney said, "You knew Henry was dragging a police officer." Cole replied, "I did not." The prosecutor went on, "You did not stop." The defendant said, "I did not know he was at the back." Long has admitted manslaughter, but denied intending to harm the officer. Long drove off, dragging PC Harper behind for more than a mile down country lanes before the officer became detached. The court then heard from PC Kemp. He said he saw no lights on the car at all, and he saw something that made him think they had stolen a cash machine. As he turned into Ufton Lane, he noticed some ratchet straps on the ground, and then a body which appeared to be tumbling. Thames Valley Police Firearms Officer Nick Kluger said he felt an immense sense of dread and urgency when he heard an officer was down. PC Kluger and the other officers used a defibrillator to try and save PC Harper, and he said something like, "Stay with me, buddy. The ambulance will be here soon, and they'll sort you out." He said, "I felt elation when the paramedics arrived, but PC Harper's injuries were deemed incompatible with life, and he was pronounced dead at 23:45. PC Andy Kemp told the jury he saw a car come straight through the junction of Lambdon's Hill with the A4. PC Andrew Harper's widow was described being lost in an endless world after her husband was killed in the line of duty, a month after their wedding day. Lizzie Harper broke down twice as she read from her victim impact statement at the Old Bailey on Friday morning, ahead of the sentencing of the teenagers, Henry Long, Jesse Cole and Albert Bowers, for his manslaughter. PC Harper's mother also described the anguish of dealing with her firstborn's death, and how she sat in the mortuary beside his battered body. Grieving widow Mrs. Harper told the court, "This is my third attempt at writing a statement. I simply find myself in a lost and endless world. That's the reason in particular this question defeats me. Unless you have stood in my shoes, lost a soulmate, a beloved partner you intend to spend your life with, how is this grief possible to describe? I have used every word possible to describe this torture, indescribable trauma I've been forced to endure these past 11 months. I have cried and broken down." Mrs. Harper told the court she felt robbed of her future with her husband, the 28-year-old Thames Valley police officer she married 4 weeks earlier. The pair were childhood sweethearts and had been in a relationship for 13 years. Mrs. Harper said, "Should I speak again of how we were robbed of our future, or plans stolen from us? 4 weeks was all I had with my husband, 4 weeks to be called his wife. My life often feels bleak, hopeless, irreparable. Every aspect of my life since Andrew was taken is bitterly different. Every ounce of beautiful peace is gone. In answer to the question, how has Andrew's death impacted me? You can be satisfied I am now a shadow of the person I once was. Broken, distraught, beaten, a void, an empty shell." The 11-person jury retired to deliberate on the 24th of July. The 3 defendants were all cleared of murder. Long had already pleaded to manslaughter, and Bowers and Cole were found guilty of manslaughter. On the 31st of July, Long was sentenced to 16 years, and both Bowers and Cole to 13 years in prison. The judge in his summary also said on the matter as to whether the jury had been subject to any improper pressure, Judge Justice Edis said, "To the best of my knowledge and belief, there is no truth in that at all." There was a massive outpouring of anger at the sentences. The convicted laughing in the back of the prison transport van only added to the outrage. The sentences were seen as unduly lenient because 2 of the suspects were 17 years old at the time, not classing them as adults. though in custody they did turn 18. It added already to what people seen as lawless Britain, with many people arguing that justice has not been adequately served. PC Harper's widow, Lizzie Harper, publicly expressed her disappointment, stating that the sentences did not reflect the severity of the crime. The case ignited debates about sentencing guidelines, the definition of murder, and the need for harsher penalties for those who harm law enforcement officers. The verdict also highlighted differences in public perception of justice. Many viewed the manslaughter convictions as a failure to recognise the deliberate and violent nature of the crime. Others pointed to the youth of the offenders, emphasising the UK puts too much importance on rehabilitation over retribution. In the aftermath of the trial, there's significant pressure on the government to review sentencing policies for crimes against emergency workers. The Harper's Law campaign, spearheaded by Lizzie Harper, sought mandatory life sentences for anyone convicted of killing emergency service personnel in the line of duty. The campaign garnered widespread support and led to changes in the law. The Ministry of Justice announced they would introduce Harper's Law, a bill extending mandatory life sentences to anyone who commits manslaughter of an emergency worker on duty, including police officers, prison officers, firefighters and paramedics. While carried out another crime, unless there's truly exceptional circumstances, the law was added to the statute book on 28th of April 2022 as part of the Police Crime, Sentencing and Courts Act 2022. It is now law. The tragic murder of PC Andrew Harper remains a defining moment in recent British history. His death not only highlighted the risks faced every day by police officers, but also exposed gaps in the legal system and society's attitudes towards justice. While the introduction of the Harper's Law represents a step forward in addressing these issues, though little has really changed. There is a sense of real injustice in the UK, especially now at this moment. As the United Kingdom grapples with the complexities now of crime and punishment, we have recently seen how far apart this is and how people's idea of justice is a million miles apart from what it is in reality. PC Andrew Harper's legacy is one of courage, dedication and unwavering commitment to protecting others. This is what the police should be and not what they have become. And I'm not blaming the police officers here, but the authorities above. They have turned police now into care in the community and political, stopping police officers catching criminals while crime and burglary rates remain incredibly high and go unsolved. Something needs to change, and quickly. PC Andrew Harper, his story stands as a testament to the enduring impact of those who serve selflessly, even in the face of unimaginable danger.